Look at this unified group shot of all 6 cast members. We've been trained by decades of television to see these specific people as a single, inseparable unit, an inevitable family. But that permanence is an illusion. Before the very first episode even begins, Rachel Green and Monica Geller had already grown up, drifted apart, and built entirely separate lives. That's exactly why Monica is genuinely shocked to see Rachel run into Central Park wearing a wet wedding dress. Their childhood friendship had been dormant for years. Now, imagine a slight divergence in that timeline. Imagine Rachel leaves the altar, runs out into the rain, but instead of seeking refuge inside the coffee shop, she keeps walking. Without that reunion, the casual interactions that eventually bound these 6 people together simply never take place. On paper, Rachel's original path offered total financial security and a highly predictable future mapped out by her parents, but she wasn't actually choosing any of it. Notice her uncertain expression here. When she re-enters Monica's life, Monica doesn't offer career advice or money. She offers permission. She provides a psychological model for something Rachel has never experienced, building an independent life from scratch. Without that immediate influence, Rachel likely regresses. She either stays with her fiancé or retreats to her parents' house, trapped in the exact same holding pattern. For Ross, Rachel isn't a person yet. She's a decade-old dream. He enters the pilot episode frozen in time, carrying unrequited feelings for a version of Rachel that hasn't existed since high school. Without Rachel's sudden return to ground those feelings in reality, that old dream remains a ghost he can't chase. It forces him to stop waiting for a past that isn't coming back and look at his actual surroundings. Rachel keeps her old, unchosen life, while Ross is finally nudged toward living his new one. We also have to look at the physical center of this universe, Monica's apartment. Prior to the pilot, this space perfectly reflects the composed, formal baseline you see here. It is a rigidly controlled environment defined by Monica's need for perfection and approval. Rachel disrupts that. She injects a specific kind of spontaneity that breaks Monica's obsessive cycle, forcing her to actually let life happen within those walls. This diagram illustrates why that lack of disruption matters. If Monica's apartment remains a quiet, rigidly controlled zone, it creates a social barrier. Joey and Chandler might step out into the hallway, but a stiff, formal atmosphere actively discourages them from walking across the threshold, halting and turning back to their own space. As we zoom out, the isolation spreads. Without the boys hanging out across the hall, Phoebe loses her connection to that half of the social circle, severing the network entirely. Without overlapping space, the shared milestones disappear. There are no high-stakes poker nights, no shared career transitions, and no accidental family structure. Without Rachel's disruptive chaos, the apartment remains just an apartment. It never generates the gravitational pull required to hold 6 wildly different people together. The alternate version of this story ends quietly. It leaves us with 2 childhood best friends who simply allowed time and distance to make them strangers. And that reveals a quiet truth hidden within the show. It actively rejects the idea that adult relationships are driven by destiny or fate. Long-term friendships survive on highly mechanical interactions. Someone extends an invitation, and the other person actively chooses to accept it. This divergence kills the possibility of growth. Without that specific connection, Rachel never finds the agency to build her own life, and Monica never learns to relax her grip on her own world. The trajectories of our adult lives are rarely guaranteed. They rely entirely on fragile, intentional choices, a momentary hesitation, followed by the decision to push open a door for the people standing outside.